Russia's taken 20% of a European nation. Russia has resulted in the Ukraine war 1.2 million casualties. America said, well, we can't afford really to support this war in Ukraine. We need our money for China. We need our missiles for China. But, we're with you. What they've actually done is that they have spent colossal sums of money, which could have gone to Ukraine, in this Iran intervention.
So if you look at the spending on these various wars, right across the 4 years, 188 billion on the Ukraine war from the United States, and they're asking Congress for another 200 billion. So we're clearly seeing that this war is costing them a hell of a lot more than the war in Ukraine.
And as you can see, they're actually firing missiles that could have been supplied to the Ukrainians. In fact, there's been the story that the missiles that the Europeans bought have been redirected, and we're not actually getting the missiles that we bought for Ukraine. On the China story, you've got these stories that defense systems are being taken out of Korea and brought back to the Gulf.
Yeah.
So if you say, listen, how can you possibly think Iran posed the kind of threat to the US that Russia does? Or even, how does this sit with your story that what you're doing is tilting towards Asia-Pacific and China? They can say, well, it's all about a window of opportunity that we can see in 3-5 years to weaken Iran before we move on to China. But none of it really quite adds up. And after you've been arguing for 45 minutes or an hour, you realize that it's after the event, the decision's been made, Trump's gone after Iran. Nobody fully expected him to do so. And now they're creating justifications behind it. But they don't add up. And in America that has gone through the shale gas revolution, it's no longer dependent on Middle Eastern oil in the way that other people are. It just doesn't bear the costs in the same way. So it doesn't need to think as hard about basic questions of strategy, such as whether Iran really is or isn't a threat. And the same would apply to Cuba, which I think we'll probably go on to in question time.